Big noon kickoff. Man, do they just rob us in kill game day environments? Here's what I mean by that. Michigan at Penn State. We're being robbed of a night game in Happy Valley with a whiteout. This is what big noon kickoff does. Fox takes the game and they back it right up with big noon kickoff. Like, you could have found a different game to back with this. You still could have had this big game at night on Fox, had a lot of people tuning into it. Shoot, we've seen ESPN do that with College Game Day. Not every game that is big that they're previewing comes on right after game day. Sometimes it's 2:30, sometimes it's 7 o'clock, sometimes it's 6 o'clock. But we're being robbed of some of the greatest college football traditions because, hey, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, we got to have this stellar game. Well, there's going to be a lot of other college football fans in the stands watching football games. Now, luckily, my Sooners, they don't play till 6 o'clock. So I'm going to get an opportunity to watch this game at home. But we're still being robbed of basically Penn State's tradition. Whiteout in Happy Valley in a big game environment against Michigan, the number 3 overall team, with everything surrounding Jim Harbaugh and the cheating scandal. And now you hear the Big Ten. Shoot, they're sign stealing as well. We're not really here to talk about sign stealing today in Michigan and the Big Ten. That's going to be a video for another day. I've just really been compiling my thoughts there. But we're going to talk about James Franklin. Is this guy overrated? And Michigan at Penn State. But before we do that, guys, make sure you do me one favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you're joining the discussion. Jump it down in the comments below. Who do you think is going to win this game? Drop your score predictions. So I got to start with this. James Franklin, definitely an elite level coach, gets elite teams at Penn State, but not able to finish the job when it matters the most. Here's what I mean by this. In his 123-game tenure at Penn State, James Franklin is 12 of 24 against teams ranked in the top 25. 12 of 24. In the coaches poll, and 3-16 against top 10 foes. Yeah, James Franklin ain't doing a very good job. Now, the numbers are skewed a little bit. You take out his first couple of years while he's there, and he's 12 and 18 since the 2016 season. But still, Penn State has had pretty good teams over the years, but you can't get over the hump of Michigan and Ohio State. And we saw that this year because Penn State had to go play Ohio State. And guys, that was a pretty grueling game. Like, I don't know if you watched Penn State and Ohio State. It was not fun. Really bad offense on both sides. And Penn State's been pretty promising on offense this year. I mean, 38 points against West Virginia, 63 against Delaware, 30 against Illinois, 31-0 against Iowa, 41 against Northwestern, 63 against Massachusetts, 33 against Indiana, 51 against Maryland. This Penn State team has had an explosive offense. So I'm not looking at it and saying, well, it's because Penn State doesn't have an offense. No, Drew Allar, the freshman quarterback, 1,895 passing yards, only a 62% completion percentage, but 20 touchdowns, only to 1 interception, only been sacked 11 times on the year. Trust me, this guy's about to be a star in college football as long as he continues to progress and play as well as he does. Not to mention, Penn State's got 2 running backs, one in Nicholas Singleton, who has 121 carries for 480 yards, 7 touchdowns, and then Katron Allen for 573 yards and 4 touchdowns. So Penn State's got an offense. Now, this week, you're having to play Michigan. And it's interesting to see the ESPN matchup predictor here actually favor Penn State in this game when Michigan's looked just as dominant as they have been, right? Michigan's 9-0. They're the number 3 team in the country, according to the college football playoffs. I know people will have their own speculations because of the sign stealing scandal that's going on at Michigan. But I mean, since we found out about the sign stealing thing, what has Michigan done? Well, they went out there and won their games, and they haven't just won their games. It's not like they've been close. They've gone out there and they've kind of dominated 52-7, 49-0, 41-13, 52-10, 45 to, I mean, Michigan has flat dominated everybody they've played this year, especially at the line of scrimmage. Michigan, their goal is to play a more physical game of football than you and run it down your throats. That's what Michigan wants to do. So I look at this game, Michigan at Penn State. And I think this is the real test for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, right? You've got the world coming down on you right now for the sign stealing. You beat Penn State, and you don't just beat them, you beat the brakes on them. You are more physical than them. You push them around. All of a sudden, the narrative changes to, well, Michigan was only beating teams because of sign stealing, to, oh no, Michigan was beating teams because they're just better than everybody else. Michigan's got an opportunity to prove to the world this weekend that they didn't need to steal signs to win. Now, everybody steals signs. It's just a matter of, do you get caught? Unfortunately, Michigan's getting caught here. Now, Michigan this year has a passing game, things we haven't seen from Michigan in years past. And it helps that you've got two running backs in Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, who were really just superstars last year. J.J. McCarthy has 2,134 yards, completing 75% of his passes, throwing for 18 TDs, only 3 interceptions, been sacked 11 times. Blake Corum, 649 yards. Donovan Edwards, 232. They have cycled through a lot of people in that running game. The thing about Michigan is they haven't had to really play their starters a whole lot this season, right? You've been able to sit them because you've just, like I said, you've dominated teams. So you've got an opportunity to not have to or you've gotten the luxury of not having to play your starters 24/7. So I look at this game, and obviously I'm going to be giving the advantage to Michigan in the passing game. I mean, even in the running game, like, I think Michigan's got the advantage overall in all aspects of this game. However, to beat Penn State, you're going to have to cause turnovers. And that's not something that Penn State's really doing right now. They're not turning the ball over a whole lot. So the line is -5 Michigan. The matchup predictor has it in favor of Penn State, just a little over 0.5% to beat Michigan. The over-under's at 45.5. Listen, if you're Michigan, you've got to come out here. You've got to win this game by, I would say, 3 scores. If you win this game by 3 scores, you're going to start shutting down that sign stealing narrative that you didn't need to steal signs to win games, that you are more physical, that you are one of the best teams. You're going to start answering those questions, right? And then, of course, your next test is Ohio State on your board. But as far as it comes to this game, James Franklin, listen, you for so long have had this narrative that you can't beat a top-ranked team. Now you have an opportunity to go out here and show the world, Michigan, they're frauds. But also, you have an opportunity to stack a win against the number 3 ranked team. And not only just the number 3 ranked team, by the way, the number 3 ranked team that has went out there and dominated everybody they played. So you have an opportunity to do that. And if you do that, you now put yourself and your team in a position to compete for a college football playoff spot as a one-loss Big Ten team. I'm still convinced that unless Michigan comes out of this thing undefeated, you're getting a one-loss Big Ten team. Because Ohio State, they're going to lose at some point. And it's probably going to be to Michigan, which that conversation gets interesting to see if Ohio State fans decide they want to fire Ryan Day because, well, you're going to have lost 3 straight times. And that conversation is going to pop up again. It's crazy that conversation popped up last year with, Ohio State only being like literally seconds away from a national championship, right? So I look at this game. I'm going to take Michigan in this game 34, and I'm going to take Penn State 21. Now, I said Michigan needs to win this game by 3 scores. I don't think they win it by 3 scores, but I think they need to. I want you guys to differentiate that here. As far as James Franklin goes, I can't bet for you. You haven't given me any indication on why I should put my money on you. And you haven't given the world that opportunity either. So if you're James Franklin, you've got to come out here and you've got to be able to show the world I can beat the number 3 ranked team and I can beat the best team in our conference. You already missed an opportunity against Ohio State this year, but you can probably quiet the doubters quite a bit if you go out there and you take care of business against Michigan. And also, you're going to probably be one of college football favorites, definitely a Big Ten favorite, if you go out there and you hand Michigan their first loss of the season. So, guys, I want to hear from you. I want to hear what y'all's thoughts are. Drop your score predictions down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like and hit that subscribe button.